The noose that they've got round the whole of society and the whole of the world is because they can charge interest. Who gave them the right to create money?
Well, that's all fine and dandy in the la-la world in which you live, Tommy, but I've asked for a reasonable argument about how to actually not pay people bonuses, and you haven't come up with one. So I'm afraid you're being ejected now from the Independent Republic on the grounds that you couldn't make any sense. Let's see if Karl from Plaistow has got any more brains. Hello, Karl.
I think he made excellent sense.
Well, that's part of the trouble with you lot, isn't it?
You lot.
Yeah.
Well,
you communists who think that all banks should be nationalised and we should all be electing bankers for some reason.
I think, but on the subject of leg transplants, I think I'd put my foot down at that. You know?
Yes, quite.
Now, I don't know if you're aware of the plot of Bertolt Brecht's Threepenny Opera, from which Bobby Darin's swing version of what was initially an old-fashioned ball, Smack the Knife, came from. The idea is that a gang of criminals decide that the best way to steal money was not to rob a bank, but to open one.
Yeah.
Lending money at interest, as Tommy said there, is considered robbery and considered usury. It's the name of it. It's considered a crime.
By whom?
In Muslim countries, for instance.
Well, we don't live in a Muslim country.
No, I know, but they chop your hands off. They also
stone you to death for committing adultery. I don't think we should be adopting anything like that, do you?
Absolutely, but the Christian religion believed that usury is a sin as well, you know.
Well, I don't think religion is the answer to the banking crisis.
I know, but that's why Jewish people are involved in finance. If you want to, check in the Middle Ages and the Medicis in Italy, etc. That's where the first bankers were. But I think bankers are the ultimate parasites. They produce nothing but debt and contribute only pieces of paper and bars of useless gold.
But you see, that's a cop-out, isn't it? That's just a popularist. That's just a kind of popularist view.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
It's not all smoke and mirrors. If it weren't for the banks,
real wealth is created by labour.
Naturally, that's not true.
Earth.
That's not true, Karl.
Well, what is wealth then?
Wealth can be created in a whole variety of ways.
Well,
there are many companies.
Capitalism.
You can let me answer. There are plenty of companies who wouldn't be around today if they hadn't had their deals financed by the banks, and they wouldn't be manufacturing anything. Because sometimes you need to borrow money in order to make money. It's as simple as that. It doesn't make bankers parasites. It makes them part of the system.
Capital is a sheer extraction. Could you explain to me how it was possible for a country which had no industry at all in 1917 to beat the Nazis in 1944 without having a bank, without having private capital? How is that possible?
You're talking about Britain, are you?
No, I'm talking about the Soviet Union.
Oh, the Soviet Union. I don't know enough about the Soviet Union to argue.
No, you don't know enough about banks either.
No, I know plenty about banks.
No, you don't. You're talking a lot.
And you know a lot about banks, Karl.
I do indeed, yes.
From what experience?
From living an ordinary life and using my brain.
But you don't know what they even do.
I know what they do. They lend pieces of paper. It's an abstraction.
No, they don't.
Money is only a means of exchange, and it's a means of exchange for goods. All goods are produced by labour, by people taking things out of the earth to start with, and then the manufacturing, the processing, the transport, the selling.
How do you explain the phenomenal success and money-making enterprise of Google under your system?
How do I explain it?
Yeah.
Well, it's capitalism. It's done to make profits for individuals.
So would you describe that as manufacturing something?
There's plenty of...
would you describe Google as manufacturing something?
There's plenty of Google. China manages without Google, thank you very much.
China also kills people and kills a lot of children. I don't really think that's much of an argument either, Karl.
No, I don't think that's true.
I'm saying to you...
That's a shameful lie.
Oh, is it?
That is a shameful lie.
They don't kill children.
Who kills children?
The Chinese government.
Which children, where and when?
There's about 30 million of them have been killed over the last
You lying scumbag.
Thank you very much, Karl. It's always nice to get some reasoned debate going with some of these commies who think that it's all time to lynch the bankers. And then, as soon as you criticise their beloved China, the place where they do, I'm afraid, Karl in Plaistow, murder children, shoot people, have the death penalty, have all the things that you despise about the United States and capitalism, and yet you can't seem to bring yourself to admit it. Never mind. That's what happens when you're a recovering alcoholic. There's lots to learn, mate. Keep listening. 08717 2233